Home is supposed to be your safe place, your comfort zone, the one space in the world where nothing can touch you. But what if that comfort is a lie? What if the silence you enjoy isn't silence at all, but someone listening, waiting for the right moment? It starts with something small. A light left on when you're sure you turned it off. Footsteps upstairs even though you live alone. You try to explain it away. You blame your memory, you blame the wind. But deep down, something feels wrong. You lock your doors, you check the windows. You sleep with the TV on just to feel less alone. But what if you're not alone? What if someone's already inside? Someone who doesn't want your money or your things, just you. Because once you realize you're not imagining it, once you know the fear is real, it's already too late. The walls you trusted won't save you. The locks you clicked won't hold them out. And the worst part? They never broke in because they were already here. I thought I made it safe. But this couch has another opinion. I live alone in a one-bedroom apartment. So can anyone tell me why there was a woman sitting on my couch watching TV? I was in my room getting some work done when I had gotten a bit hungry and planned on walking to the kitchen to get some leftover Chinese food. My kitchen sits next to the living room, and as soon as I stepped into the dark hallway, I noticed the television was on. I know I never stopped to watch anything on it, so this was an immediate red flag. But that red flag? It was just the beginning of something far worse. Thinking that maybe it was updating or maybe Alexa had switched it on by mistake, I walked over to turn it off. But my heart dropped when I saw a woman with oily black hair sitting on my couch watching it. For a moment, I was confused because I knew there was no one here when I walked in, and I knew all the doors and windows were locked. From the time I came home, I hadn't heard anyone break in, so how in the world could a person be sitting there, warning whoever or whatever she was, she didn't belong in this world? After the confusion passed, I wanted to walk forward and ask what she was doing in my house, but something screamed that would be a grave mistake. If you have ever experienced sleep paralysis, that's what the feeling was like. I told my body to move, but the primal part of my brain refused vehemently. I slowly crept back inside my room and just waited in silence. Every second stretched into hours, and I was frozen with dread. At this point, I know you're already screaming at me to call the cops, and trust me, I wanted to. Nothing at that moment would have made me feel better than to have one or two armed police officers there to deal with her so that I didn't have to. But if I'm being honest, I didn't want her to hear me talking. If she had walked to my room, I'd be trapped. And at that moment, I felt like that'd be a nightmare. But some nightmares don't let you make a phone call. After waiting for half an hour in silence, I mustered up enough courage to at least observe and see what she was up to. Forcing myself up, I cracked the door open just enough to get a clear view of the hallway and look at where she was sitting. If I didn't know any better, I'd have thought she had legitimately just stumbled into the wrong house and was relaxing like any normal person. But something was off. And when something feels off, it usually is. It almost looked as if she was slumped forward on the couch. Part of me wanted to believe she was sleeping, but what I saw next shattered all hope of that. She reached a disgustingly long arm towards the door and then locked it from her seated position with ease. I haven't measured yet, but eyeballing the distance from my couch to the door, it had to be at least 8 or 9 feet away on the low end. No normal body should be able to stretch like that, but you can stretch and hit that like and subscribe. We almost at 250 subs. Y'all are legends. She slowly stood up and made a clumsy effort to walk towards it. Her body was horrifying. She was tall, uncomfortably so. If I had to guess, I'd say she was maybe over 9 feet with arms that touched the ground and dragged behind her. Her hands each sported roughly 11 fingers that had to each be around a foot in length. It was like she was built from leftover nightmares. From what I remember, she was completely vulnerable with sagging skin that hung loosely off of her extremely thin body. She was also paler than I thought possible. Her skin appeared almost gray, and if I didn't know any better, I'd think her skin belonged to that of someone recently deceased. She didn't just look lifeless. She felt wrong like a ghost itself. She didn't move gracefully. She dragged her massive body towards the door and raised her long arm towards the doorknob to pull it open. It almost looked like she had to do something about her own bones to complete the movement. But as she pulled the door open and moved a spindly leg outside, she stopped. My heart skipped 2 beats in a row as she slowly turned her head towards me, and I caught a glimpse of her face. No face should look like that. No face should exist like that. I wanted to scream when I didn't see any eyes. Just a puffy exterior with sagging eye holes, and a mouth with long rubbery lips that drooped past her shoulders in a permanent look of anguish. Then she turned away. and simply walked out the door. I didn't know if she saw me or if she even had the capability to. All I remember was her turning her head back outside and leaving my home. She shut the door behind her and I was left in silence with my heart pumping faster than it ever did. I rushed outside with my phone to see if I could catch her on video, and I wish I hadn't. Because what I saw next should have never been recorded. I wish I had just closed the door and gone to sleep or gotten high and tried to pass the whole thing off as a messed up nightmare. But what I saw was, I know it was real. I looked outside in the cold dark, and I saw her hanging off the side of the building like a flipping spider. The window of the person above me was open. She was fishing inside, and after a few seconds of searching, she pulled out their little thing. She didn't break in. She reached in like a claw machine from another world. Her hand was completely wrapped around the head, and I couldn't tell if they were alive or not by the time she slinked off into the darkness with the young little thing. I had caught it all on video. I must have watched that video 100 times before deleting it. I mean, what was I supposed to do with it? Do you think the police would believe it's a real piece of evidence? You must be tweaking. Some files are not meant to exist. Some truths aren't meant to be shared. Even if they did, what in the other world could they do? And as a parent, are you better off thinking that your little thing ran away or knowing that it was taken by an entity that we can't even begin to comprehend? At least with the former, you have hope that maybe you'll see them again. I just couldn't bring myself to bring up such a crazy notion to a grieving family, or worse, have them believe me and go looking for something that no one should ever try and find. Hope is kinder than horror, but it's also a lie. I knew as long as I kept it, I'd be tempted to watch it, and every time I watched it, I'd be driven further into madness. There have been more stories of littles missing as of late. I've even heard some rumors about pets going missing from people's homes. Surprisingly enough, I even heard a story about a full-grown man disappearing. He was never seen again with absolutely no trace of where he went or why he left. The only thing suggesting any kind of outside force was an open window, and a few strands of hair police couldn't match any DNA to. And if you look too closely, you might go missing too. This has taken quite a toll on my life. I tried to find info on this thing, but as far as I know, there's nothing. If anyone out there has had a similar experience, please tell your story or share images of the thing if you have them. I just want to know I'm not crazy. Because being terrified is one thing. Being alone with it? That's another. I'm quitting my job tomorrow and staying with my brother on the other side of the country. There's no way I'm sticking around that thing more than I need to. I don't plan on being here much longer. But last night I heard a knocking at my door. And if it comes back, I'm not going down alone. I'll take it with it. I know the next time I see it, I won't be telling a story afterward. But I also know I'm taking this whole apartment down with me. I don't even remember falling asleep last night. It's like my body shut down the moment I stopped recording. When I woke up, I was drenched in sweat. The lights were on, and my front door was still locked. But I didn't feel safe. I don't think I ever will again. There's something about true terror. It doesn't go away when the sun rises. It lingers. I spent the entire day packing what I could, barely touching my food, barely speaking to anyone. I even considered tossing my phone just in case she or it could track me through it. I know that sounds crazy, but nothing about this feels normal anymore. Every sound I hear makes me flinch. Every shadow that moves in the corner of my eye makes me freeze. I become a prisoner inside my own mind, constantly waiting for a knock that may never come, or worse, one that does. And yet part of me feels like it's too late, like she's already inside again. I've set up cameras, I've triple locked everything. I sleep with the lights on, and I keep a fire extinguisher next to my bed. But even with all that, I don't think it matters. Because whatever this thing is, it's not bound by doors or windows or locks.